Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about all of the games from Sunday that happened yesterday. Obviously, as you're watching this on Monday, hopefully I could break down like all of the fantasy matchups, everything that has to do with fantasy football, any of the players that I like, any of the players that I think I may be willing to cut, any of the players that I'm looking to maybe pick up. There will be a waiver wire video tomorrow, and a bunch more videos coming later this week. As you're watching this on Monday, I'm pretty busy with a lot of schoolwork, so there's not really going to be another video today, only just one, but hopefully this video is interesting enough to keep you watching the whole time. Before I start the video, I'd like to ask if you could click that subscribe button down below, because not only is it going to help me, it's also going to help you guys, because I'm going to help you guys dominate your whole fantasy football season. There's going to be live streams every single Sunday, and potentially even more during the week, that are just going to be like Q&A and all that shit, so you guys can get a gauge on what I think of certain players and everything, like real time. So click that subscribe button. So let's get right into the video. So the first game we're going to be talking about here is the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now the 49ers won 41-17, but that doesn't really take away from the way that I think a lot of the Bengals played and how strong that they played. So first we'll go over the winners, the San Francisco 49ers and their fantasy football relevance. So Jimmy Garoppolo went 17 for 25 with 297 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I was completely wrong on this. I read this completely wrong. I thought Jimmy Garoppolo would struggle. Seems like he's playing pretty good. He seems like a pretty comparable fantasy quarterback, but he's definitely a matchup kind of guy where I'm not confident starting him every single week. Now, for the rushers, we're going to be talking about here, there was a lot of touchdowns going the way of the running backs, but not the ones that you would think it would be. Matt Breida, 12 carries for 121 yards, no touchdowns. Raheem Mostert, 13 carries, 83 yards, no touchdown. Jeff Wilson, the touchdown man, 10 carries for 34 yards and 2 touchdowns. Should you pick up Jeff Wilson Jr.? No. No, because next week it's going to be fucking Raheem Mostert with the 2 touchdowns, or Matt Breida, or none of them will score touchdowns. So don't be stupid and read too much into the numbers here. Read into your eyes. Read into what happened. These guys got the most carries. They got the most yards. He just got the 2 touchdowns. So, now in the receiving game, this is where it also gets confusing because you're not going to be wanting to start any of these fucking receivers besides George Kittle, who's the tight end, at all any week. Deebo Samuel, 5 for 87 and a touchdown. Marquise Goodwin, 3 for 77 and a touchdown. Raheem Mostert, 3 for 68 and a touchdown. And then George Kittle went 3 for 54, no touchdowns. Now, every single week, it's going to be someone different. Next week, Pettis will probably score a touchdown. Then the week after that, it'll be Deebo Samuel. It's too fucking confusing. You don't want anything to do with the wide receivers except for Kittle in that passing down or in that passing game. Now, the Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals passing. Andy Dalton went 26 for 42 for 311 yards, 2 tutties, 1 pick. The rushing game was Joe Mixon went for 11 for 17, terrible. Gio 6 for 6, terrible. So what I got from this rushing game is that Joe Mixon was clearly not healthy, couldn't do anything. They need to just bench Mixon for a week or two, let him get healthy, and then we can play him in fantasy. I'm very worried next week about playing him in fantasy football, even though I'll probably end up doing it because I'm fucking crazy like that. Cincinnati receiving, Tyler Boyd, my main man, went 10 receptions, 122 yards, no touchdown. John Ross, the boss, 4 for 112 and a touchdown. John Ross, Tyler Boyd, every week starters in this offense. Pretty much nothing else to talk about there. Obviously, Joe Mixon disappointed you, but the rest of the game was not too bad for fantasy football. Now, we wait as this fucking ESPN bullshit. Alright, here we go. Next game. Chargers at Lions. 13-10 Lions. Now, this was a game that the Chargers had in their back pocket. The fucking Chargers had 2... Let's see. Can I find it down here? I believe it was 2 field goals that they missed. Can I find it? No, of course I can't. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is, guys. Here it is, guys. Where is it at? Fuck. ESPN sucks ass, just so you guys know. Alright, 1 field goal out of 3. He missed 2 field goals that were clearly going to be easy for him to make, and he fucked it up for the team. Lost them the game. The Lions really did not deserve to win this one. Phillip Rivers, 21 for 36 for 298 yards, 0 tutties, 1 pick. Matty Snapback, 22 attempts for 30, or 22 completions for 30 attempts, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So nothing really special out of either of these quarterbacks. Matt Stafford seems like he could potentially move up to be an every week starter after a great performance in the past 2 weeks. Now the rushing game is what I would like to speak about here most importantly. Kerryon Johnson, 12 carries for 41 yards and no touchdowns. But in the passing game, he got 2 receptions for 47 yards and a touchdown. Would you look at that, guys? When you use Kerryon Johnson more than C.J. Anderson or C.D. McKissick, you fucking win the game. When you use Kerryon Johnson correctly, he's going to score. That's something they need to keep in mind. They just saw it happen, just like the Bears saw that David Montgomery, later I'm going to talk about that David Montgomery, when you run the ball with him a bunch of times, you have success. I'm a lot more confident with Kerryon from here on out. Now on the other side of the ball, or on the other side of the game, Austin Eckler rushed 17 carries, 66 yards, a touchdown. Justin Jackson 7 for 59. So I don't think we could really be starting Justin Jackson all that much unless you're in a deep league and you need that flex option. I think that he's just not getting the usage that I really thought he would get. Now I know next week I say this, now he's gonna score 2 touchdowns next week, but right now it's really looking like the Austin Eckler show. Austin Eckler also was involved in the passing game, 6 receptions for 67 yards. No touchdown, but he obviously scored that touchdown in the rushing game. Now on the other side, or on the best rest of the receiving for the Chargers, Keenan Allen got 8 receptions for 98 yards and no touchdowns. Mike Williams 3 for 83 and no touchdowns. So pretty good game from all three of those guys. Kenny Golladay on the Lions, 8 for 117 and 1 touchdown. I love it. Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones are every week starts for me. Marvin Jones, 5 for 43. Obviously not as amazing as Kenny Galladay's stat line, but he was getting that usage that I like to see. TJ Hawkins did disappoint this week. 1 for 7. Wasn't really heavily involved in the passing game this week. It was a close game. I think that in a game where it's more of a shootout, he will obviously get a lot more usage. Danny Amendola is 0 for 0. I told you guys. He got 1 target. Don't fucking start him this week, and some people started him. Pretty much this game, what we learned is that Kerryon Johnson is good, and that Austin Eckler is good. Next game here, the third game out of, I believe, 16 we're going to be talking about here. Maybe even more. The Vikings at the Packers. Mr. Kirk Cousins is terrible on the away. He fucking sucks. I'm pretty sure against winning teams, he's like 5-21 against winning teams. He's terrible against teams that have won a game before. So we're to talk about here Kirk Cousins. I fucking hate this website. Kirk Cousins, 14 for 32, 230 yards, 1 tutty, 2 picks. Nothing to write home about there. Not a good game, but like I said, guys, they are going to be passing the ball more like they did, not like what they did against the Falcons. 32 attempts. It was 10 last game, so you should be seeing an uptick in attempts in these games. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, went 22 for 34 for 209 for 2 touchdowns and 0 picks. The rushing game on Minnesota, it looks like Dalvin Cook's going to be a fucking world beater until he eventually gets hurt. 20 carries for 154 yards. I love Dalvin Cook now. I wasn't really buying in at the beginning of the year. Now I can just see his talent, but at the end of the day, he is going to end up getting hurt. Alexander Madison played pretty well as well. But what to really talk about here is Green Bay, the rushing. Aaron Jones, 23 for 116 and a touchdown. I can't believe my fucking eyes. Aaron Jones played good. He looked like shit against the Bears, and I thought he would look like shit against the Vikings. Turned out he told the Vikings to hold his jock strap, and he went in against them. I think Aaron Jones definitely was worth that buy low candidate that I made him last week. Hopefully you got him now. He's going to be amazing from here on out. Now, Devontae Adams had that comeback game. Like I said, he would 7 receptions, 106 yards, no touchdowns, but still quite the game by Mr. D.A. The rest of the wide receivers, it's just spread upon everyone. Geronimo, MVS, Aaron Jones, everyone's getting the ball. You get the ball. You get the ball. You want to know who didn't get the ball? Jimmy Graham disappointed with a goose egg. Now, at Minnesota's side of the ball, Adam Thielen, 5 for 75, 0 touchdowns. Adam Thielen's going to be consistent every single week, getting those targets, getting those yards. Mr. Stephon Diggs, on the other hand, 1 for 49 and a touchdown. Scored that touchdown, they called it back, scored another one. So probably would have had 2 touchdowns in that game, but it's A-okay because he got 1 and he scored you enough points to win your fantasy football game, most likely. Or for you not to be so pissed off about him. Next game here is the Colts at the Titans. Let's see. Let's wait for this to load. Holy shit, guys. ESPN is just the worst site for me to do this on, but there are really no other sites that show like the score, the box score, all like this. If you guys have enjoyed thus far, please click that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot to me. A lot of this video is going to be pretty slow paced because I'm going through every single game, but a lot of my other videos are much more fast paced, me talking fast, giving you all that fancy football facts and knowledge for you win your goddamn fucking league. So, Indianapolis Colts 19. They won 19-17 against the Titans. At the beginning of the game, there was a fire on the fucking field, a true dumpster fire, just like the Miami Dolphins in real life. So Jacoby Brissett went 17 for 28 for 3 tutties and 1 interception. Pretty amazing, 146 yards. Jacoby Brissett looks like a legit fucking quarterback. Mariota, on the other hand, 19 for 28 for 151 and 1 touchdown. Not too shabby from him. Marlon Mack, 20 for 51, no touchdowns. Jordan Wilkins was getting some touches. 5 carries for 82 yards. Jacoby Brissett ran. Naheem Hines ran. They're going to use Marlon Mack as the lead back, but I guess he's not going to be as consistent as I thought he was. I thought he was going to get a lot of yards, but the Titans obviously do have a good defense, but their run defense clearly better than their pass defense because Jacoby Brissett had his day throwing the ball to 8 million receivers on the Colts. Now, T.Y. Hilton, 4 for 43 and a touchdown. Eric Ebron, 3 for 25 and a touchdown. Chester Rogers caught the ball. Jack Doyle caught the ball. Paris Campbell caught the ball and a touchdown. Everyone was touching the ball on that fucking team. It's going to seem like T.Y. Hilton's really the only one I'm confident starting every single week. Derrick Henry on the Titans side of the ball, 15 for 81 and a touchdown. He seems like a pretty consistent running back on the Titans. Now, I don't love him because I think he's going to end up getting hurt. He's going to end up doing something fucking stupid, or he's just not going to be able to run this many times. They're using him so much now that it's almost crazy. But he had put up a pretty solid game for you. Now the receiving game of the Titans also looking just like the Colts. Delaney Walker, 4 for 39, except for there's no touchdowns over here, except for one that went to Mr. David Queensberry, who is a left tackle. So Delaney Walker, 4 receptions. Corey Davis, 3 receptions. A.J. Brown, 3 receptions. You don't want to start any of these wide receivers. I would only be starting Delaney Walker and Derrick Henry from this team from here on out. I really don't trust Corey Davis, A.J. Brown, any of those guys. You should not be trusting them every single week. So now we get into my Miami Dolphins playing against the Patriots. An absolute fucking beatdown like you have never fucking seen before. I was so embarrassed that I didn't even want to watch the game. I should have burned every single piece of clothing I have that has the Miami logo on it. I'm wearing a shirt right now that has the Miami logo on it after we just got our ass clapped by the Patriots. I am embarrassed to be a fan. I am embarrassed of the team to score 0 points. It was like a 19.5 point spread, and if you bet the Dolphins, you probably fucking killed yourself because of how fucking stupid you must have felt, because even I thought that was the correct bet. Turns out it wasn't. The Dolphins just got their ass handed to them. The Patriots won 43-0. Pure embarrassment as a Dolphins fan. I am going to go to school wearing a goddamn paper bag over my head. This is terrible. Tom Brady, 20 of 28 for 264, 2 tutties. Easy. Nothing to talk about there. Fitzpatrick, 3 picks. Rosen, a pick. Embarrassing from the Dolphins. I'm not even going to talk about the Dolphins players because there's no one really to talk about that had any relevance in this game. Just the Patriots. Sony Michel, 21 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown, boys. We finally got some work out of Sony Michel. Get him off your team now. This was his ideal matchup. And if they start using the guys like they were using in week 1, where Sexy Rexy gets the ball, James White gets the ball, fucking, even in this game, Antonio Brown ran the ball, James Devlin ran the ball, even my boy Tom Brady ran the ball and scored a touchdown. Like, what the fuck? Just avoid that. Now, the New England receiving game, AB, 4 for 56 and a touchdown. Julian Edelman, 4 for 51, 0 touchdowns. Josh Gordon, 2 for 19. Guys, it's looking like there's too many cooks in the kitchen here. Even when they scored 43 points, not everyone was eating. I think next week could be different, though. I don't know who they're playing next week. I think it... I don't even remember. But whoever they're playing next week, it should be different. There should be a lot more passing, a lot less of this running with Sony Michel. So I'm pretty confident in all those guys. AB obviously had a fantastic game, just like I assumed he would, and just absolutely destroyed the Dolphins. So... nothing much to say about that game, really. The next game here, we have the Buffalo Bills at the Giants, 28-14 for Mr. Joshy Allen winning the game. Our Lord and Savior over here, if you're streaming quarterbacks, told you guys to pick him up. He played amazing this week. I think he's pretty good starter from here on out for your fantasy team until they play the Patriots next week. Alright, so now. Oh, fuck. I clearly clicked on the wrong thing. Let's go here to the box score, guys. Oh, I clicked on the wrong game. We're in the fucking Dolphins game again. I'm sorry, guys, that ESPN may be the worst website maybe ever created on the internet, but I have no idea how else to make this video without using ESPN. If you guys have any other websites that show the fucking score like this, that I can actually read all the stats from, let me know, because this site sucks my ass. Okay? And I'm not even going to edit this fucking video because I think some people may get enjoyment from the fact that I'm pissed the fuck off right now that this is not working. I like how you can also see what I've been looking at up top here. We can see that I was watching a Dan Bilzerian interview, that I was also making the thumbnail for this video, and that the thumbnail of the video is Antonio Brown. Pretty fucking funny. So let's get right into this. The Bills at the New York Football Giants. I can just talk about it without even seeing the fucking stats because I remember all these fucking games because I'm a fucking genius. You know what I'm saying, guys? Fantasy football genius. So, Eli Manning played like ass. 26 for 45, 250, one touchdown, two interceptions. Are the Giants going to bring in Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones is so much better than Eli Manning that it almost fucking confuses me that they were this dumb and that they went with fucking Eli Manning through the whole game. It makes no sense to me. Terrible. Saquon Barkley, the highlight of the Giants, going to be the highlight every single week. 18 carries for 107 yards and a touchdown. Every single week you can rely upon Saquon Barkley no matter how shit the team is. And then the receiving game, just a bunch of fucking scrubs. And Evan Ingram, 6 for 48, no touchdowns. And then obviously Saquon Barkley got 3 for 28 in the passing game. He gets involved in the passing game. Evan Ingram, Saquon Barkley, the only guys you could be starting from the Giants until Sterling Shepard gets back. Now, the Buffalo passing game. Mr. Josh Allen, my main man, 19 for 30, 253, one touchdown, no picks. Great game from Josh Allen. Also ran in a touchdown. Let's find those facts right here. Josh Allen, 7 for 21 in the rushing game and a touchdown. Great work from my man, Josh fucking Allen. We love this guy. Next week, he has another easy matchup. I don't remember who it's against. It's an easy matchup. Week 4, it's against the Patriots. You bench him then. Frank Gore, 19 for 68 and a touchdown. Devin Singletary, 6 for 57 and a touchdown. Devin Singletary gets no carries, still gets the yards, still scores a touchdown. He's a fucking beast. They need to lower Frank Gore's touches and just let it be the Devin Singletary show. Now, I know Devin Singletary got hurt at the end of the game. Hopefully, he's A-okay. The Buffalo receiving game. The Beasles, 4 for 83, no touchdowns. John Brown, 7 for 77. John Brown's a fucking legend. He is Josh Allen's favorite target. They are going to eat all year long. Be confident in John Brown all year long. And then a bunch of other guys got the ball, but there's nothing really to talk about there for fantasy football purposes. Next game we have, let's see. Oh, the Seahawks at the Steelers, where Mr. Big Ben hurt himself. Who would have known Big Ben would get hurt? That dude gets hurt about every year. He's a fucking walking injury. He's a walking blue tent. He's always in that goddamn blue fucking tent. He's always hurt, but hopefully he'll be good for next week and same with James Conner, also got hurt. So this was just not an ideal game for the Steelers, going down 0-2 already early into the season. Okay, hopefully the shit loads. Oh my fucking god! What the fuck is wrong with ESPN? It just gave me the fucking Patriots game again. Let's see. Let me just go fucking fuck myself over here because this fucking website sucks my ass and doesn't show me anything. I'm not even gonna edit this shit out because, like I said, guys, there's no editing here. Just straight up fucking facts, straight up knowledge. If you've enjoyed through this shit show that is the ESPN website, click that subscribe button. And like I said, guys, leave down in the comments, actually, if you're still here, if you've made it this far, to tell me if you think I should stream more than once a week, because I think I may stream before the Thursday night games too, if everyone seemed to have enjoyed the videos. If you didn't fucking enjoy the live stream, then just tell me. If you said, damn, that was stupid, you answered everyone's questions, you were very courteous to everyone, you're fucking asshole. That's pretty much how it goes. So let's see how many games we got left here. 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, 6, 7, 8. Holy shit, boys. We got 8. Boys and girl. There are girls that watch these videos. I know. Unbelievable. I got some girls that watch these videos. Girls do watch football as well, guys. That is a fucking fact. It's not just us dudes watching this shit. So the Seahawks, 28-26. Hopefully this doesn't show me the fucking Patriots game again. So I have to fucking blow my goddamn brains out over here. It just showed me the goddamn Patriots game again. So we're just going to a completely different thing. We're just fucking pivoting. We're going to NFL.com. Maybe they have real, actual stats that I can fucking look at, because this is about to piss me off to the maximum, like my album just went platinum. Here we go, guys. Let's see where we were at. Where were we at? Where are the Steelers at? Does this have their actual stats? That's what's really important. Will this have stats on here? Do they have stats on NFL.com? Because otherwise, we're going to Google. Oh, Lord. This is definitely not what we want. NFL Week 2. Here we go, guys. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Now y'all get hit with the boom, boom. Stepping all up. Hopefully I didn't just get copyrighted for my excellent singing right there. The Black Eyed Peas, that would be pretty bad. Here we go, guys. This is clearly not the fucking right game either. What is wrong with this? What is wrong with me? All right. Seahawks. Russell Wilson. 29 completions for 35 attempts, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Great game from Russell Wilson there. Rashad Penny, 10 carries, 62 yards, a touchdown. Chris Carson fumbled the ball twice, 15 carries, 60 yards. Looked fucking terrible because once he fumbles the ball, then fucking bubblegum chewing motherfucking their coach is like, let me just put fucking Rashad Penny in the game. No, it should be the Chris Carson show. What is he doing? On the passing game, Tyler Lockett, 10 for 79. A lot more usage from Lockett. Last week, he only got 1 target. This week, he got a shit ton more targets. 10 receptions, pretty good for Tyler Lockett. DK Metcalf had a good game too, 3 for 61 and a tutty. Nothing else to really talk about here on this side of the ball. The Steelers side of the ball, Mr. Big Ben got hurt after going 75 for 0. And Mason Rudolph came into the game, 12 for 19, 112 yards, 2 tutties, and 1 pick. Great game from Mason Rudolph, had a pretty good game. Sadly was not able to come back, but hopefully Big Ben's good for next week. James Conner, 11 for 33 and a touchdown. He got hurt. Hopefully he's good to go next week. Juju had quite the game, 5 receptions for 84 yards. Vance McDonald had the real game, 7 receptions, 38 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great game from Vance McDonald. And the other wide receivers on the team are fucking terrible, so no need to speak about them. Let's go into the next. Oh, it's all out of order, guys. We're going to have to go back and just click. Okay, so the Arizona Cardinals versus the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens won 23-17. Pretty close game there. I thought Kyler Murray might be able to get it done at the end. Kyler Murray, 25 for 40, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Ran no touchdowns in, so he played pretty shit for fantasy, but he had a pretty good game overall. David Johnson, 7 for 1 touchdown. No touchdown scored in the passing game. Obviously, Christian Kirk, 6 for 114. Larry Fitz is the rock on their team, 5 for 104. He's going to be heavily involved. I like Larry Fitz in fantasy. Same with Christian Kirk. None of the other wide receivers really matter. And DJ had an okay game, 7 for 14, but he scored that touchdown to make everything A-okay. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson looked amazing. 272 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amazing. Ran the ball, 16 for 120. Amazing. Mark Ingram got banged up in that game, 13 for 47. Not his best showing. Mark Andrews, on the other hand, an amazing showing. A touchdown in each game of the past 2 games. 8 receptions, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. Amazing work. Marquise Hollywood Brown, 8 for 86. Looking more involved in the passing game. Obviously didn't score those 2 touchdowns or get some crazy 100-yard game, but he was more heavily involved, so I'm definitely confident starting him here on out. Next game here, we got the Jaguars at the Texans. Gardner Minshew with the big old choke. Well, he didn't really choke. His team, Leonard Fournette, choked right at the end of the game where they could have went and scored the 2-point conversion and won the game. Gardner Minshew, 23 for 33, 213 yards and 1 touchdown. Looked pretty solid out there. Gardner Minshew ran 6 for 56. Now, the receiving game is what we need to talk about. Chris Connolly, 4 for 73, 0 touchdown. DJ Shark, clearly the wide receiver to own here. 7 for 55, 1 touchdown. Gardner Minshew loves him. D.D. Westbrook, 1 for 3. Embarrassing. Leonard Fournette played okay, 15 for 47. Nothing to write home about. The Texans, on the other hand, nothing to really write home about here either. Deshaun Watson, 159 yards. Trash. Carlos Hyde, 20 for 90. Pretty good. Duke Johnson, 6 for 31. Trash. D-Hop, 5 for 40. Trash. Will Fuller, 4 for 40. Trash. No one really did good on the Texans. It was quite fucking disappointing, in my opinion. Next game here, we are going to go to the Chiefs at Raiders. Pat Mahomes shoved his dick down the Raiders' throat. 30 for 44 for 443 yards and 4 touchdowns. LaShawn McCoy, 11 for 23. Damian Williams, 9 for 8. Damian Williams got his work in the passing game, I believe. Got some points there. 3 for 48. Played okay that game. Obviously, the highlights were Demarcus Robinson, 6 for 172 with 2 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman, 4 for 61 and a touchdown. Should have been 2 touchdowns. One got called back. Mecole is going to be a every week start for me. Demarcus Robinson may be as well. Sammy Watkins, the Lizard King, 6 for 49. Did not play as well as that first game. But Travis Kelce came up big, 7 for 107 and a touchdown. Played pretty well in that game. The Raiders. No, why is it fucking directing me to YouTube? I hate this shit. Okay, the Raiders. Derek Carr, 23 for 38, 198 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Not his best game. Josh Jacobs, 12 for 99, no touchdowns. Still played pretty well. Darren Waller, 6 for 63. Like I said, he's going to be good. Tyrell Williams, 5 for 46. Like I said, he's going to be good. He also scored a touchdown. So feel confident in starting Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, and Tyrell Williams pretty much every single week. And the Chiefs are obviously just going to pound the shit out of every single team they play against. The Saints at the Rams. Mr. Drew Brees got hurt. Who knows if he'll play next week? I am very scared for all of the Saints players, besides probably Alvin Kamara from here on out. Very, very scared after this game. Drew Brees, 3 for 5, 1 pick, and then he got hurt, smacking his hand against Aaron Donald. Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Roosevelt, you can't be playing him. 17 for 30, 165, did not look good. Alvin Kamara, 13 for 45, terrible performance from him. Michael Thomas, really the only redeemable player here, went 10 for 89, no touchdowns. Pretty fucking bad day for the Saints. Hopefully, Drew Brees is healthy. Jared Goff, 19 for 28, 1 touchdown for 283 yards. Played pretty well. Todd Gurley, 16 carries, 63 yards and a touchdown. Congratulations. He didn't get vultured by Malcolm Brown. Looked pretty good out there. They didn't really need him at the end of the game. Now, the passing game. Cooper Kupp, 5 for 120, no touchdowns. Had a touchdown. They called it back. Brandon Cooks, 3 for 74 and a touchdown. Robert Woods had a terrible game, 2 for 33. But I'm still confident in him, Cooks, and Kupp going on from here on out. Pretty terrible game, though. Nothing much to really talk about. It was much of a murder by the Rams. Bears at the Broncos. Eddie Pinheiro with the dagger at the end of the game, hitting that fucking field goal. Amazing play from him. Mitch Trubisky, not amazing. 16 for 27 for 120, no touchdown. David Montgomery, baby. Here's what we were here to talk about. David Montgomery is going to be good in fantasy football. 18 for 62 and a touchdown. We just had to wait 1 week. And then that dumb fuck, Matt Nagy, realized that David Montgomery is good. They gave him so many opportunities. He scored. He looked great out there. Allen Robinson, 4 for 41. Nothing to write home about out of any of these wide receivers. D-Mont is really the only highlight from the Bears. Joe Flacco from the Broncos, you can't really start him. 35 for 50, 292, 1 tutty, 1 pick. Rolls-Royce and Philip Lindsay both had okay games. 11 for 54 for Rolls-Royce. Philip Lindsay, 13 for 36. And then Philip Lindsay wasn't even really used in the passing game all that much. 4 for 30. Okay for him. Emmanuel Sanders, I guess the only real option from the Broncos. 11 receptions, 98 yards, and 1 touchdown. Played pretty well out there. We're nearing down to the last game here. Eagles at Falcons, final game. The Sunday Night Football game. Eagles lost 20-24. Carson Wentz got hurt. The whole team got hurt. Carson Wentz, 25 for 43, 231, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Obviously got hurt, but he came back into the game. Miles Sanders, 10 carries, 28 yards. Nothing too special from any of the running backs here. Aguilar got a lot of use, 8 for 107 and a touchdown. Aguilar is someone who I will be picking up if all the other wide receivers are out, like Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. I'm confident in Aguilar. Ertz had a good game, 8 for 72. Nothing else to really write home about for the Eagles. The Falcons ended up winning, but Matt Ryan had quite the game, except for throwing 3 picks, 27 for 43, 320 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Played pretty shit down at the end, but ended up getting that W, eating that W. Ito Smith, 4 for 32. Devontae Freeman, 11 for 22. Pretty good game out of him. Julio Jones, no, not a good game out of Devontae Freeman, actually, even though he did get some work in the passing game, but a better game than week 1. Julio, 5 for 106, 2 touchdowns. Calvin Ridley, 8 for 105 and a touchdown. And it seems like Austin Hooper had a pretty solid game, 4 for 34, was getting a lot of usage. Ridley, Julio, Matt Ryan, every game starters for me. So thank you guys all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed through this whole shit show. Hopefully you got all this information down. Hopefully you had a good goddamn time. If you ended up having a good time, click that subscribe button. I'll see you guys tomorrow in more informational videos where I don't just rant for 40 fucking minutes. Goodbye.